Earlier today, to get a bit more analysis on this, I spoke to military expert Igor Khokhlov. Let's take a listen. Okay, Igor, thanks so much for taking the time to speak to us on Prime Time. Let's get straight to this figure of $10 billion of exports. Where is the bulk of that money coming from? What particular arms?
First of all, Russia has hit its record high 10 billion for a few reasons. First of all, the quality of the Russian military gear, and most of that military equipment that Russia sells, those are aircraft and air defense system. And now Russia is entering also the market of naval vessels. Sales have never been so good since early 90s.
Who are they selling to? Who are the main customers?
Back in the 90s, there were two major customers, India and China, and some overseas experts predicted that Russian arms export is going to decline or even die in the early 2000s because China is developing rapidly and now it has its own military infrastructure, and India usually tries to diversify its market. It tries to purchase both from the West and from Russia, and also it tries to produce its own equipment. But you know, Russia has managed to diversify its export. Now Russia sells arms export to many countries such as Syria, United Arab Emirates. Now it is starting to have contracts with Saudi Arabia, Malaysia, Indonesia. And you know what's really interesting? In the West, many people think that, you see, Russians are able to sell their military equipment only either if they dump prices, so they sell really cheap, or when they sell these weapons to regimes hostile to the West, so to the regimes with which West doesn't want to deal.
So you think that's a misrepresentation?
Absolutely, it's misrepresentation. First of all, now Russia is successfully selling its weapon to traditional customers of the United States and Western European weapon manufacturers, like Indonesia, Malaysia, and many other countries, and even the Arab states who have traditionally bought American military gear. So now Russia have entered this market.
Let's move on to imports, which I wanted to ask you about. I mean, how much is Russia spending on imports, and what particular fields are they focusing on?
So, first of all, if we talk about imports, Russian import is very different from what other countries have to do, because Russia doesn't need to import all kind of military gear. Russia needs technologies, most of all. During the Soviet period, the Soviet Union has developed its aircraft industry, its ground vehicles, production of ground vehicles. And also, Soviet Union, the Soviet fleet actually dominated world ocean in certain areas. You see, so we had only one competitor, it was the United States. But now Russia has to look into the new technologies. For instance, Russia is now needs a large naval vessel able to offer different kind of support for the ground troops. So it needs to carry helicopters, it needs to carry land vehicles. So now Russia looks into foreign companies that can offer new technologies. But Russia doesn't want to buy military gear. Russia wants
to make its own, but it wants to know how to do.
Absolutely, you need the technologies. You need how to. That's what Russia is talking to the French. You see, French say yes, we can build those ships, but we have some kind of highly classified technologies which are used by NATO.
So this is a long-term kind of project that they're looking forward to keep building the industry by getting the technology.
Yes, but you need the technology and you need know-how. So Russia doesn't need, you see, to buy, for instance, a naval vessel, because we can build those vessels ourselves. If you talk about military gear, you need absolutely different level of technologies, because military gear is highly sophisticated. And Russia is not selling its top-end models. For instance, if you talk about air defense systems, Russia now offers S-300 missile systems to customers overseas. But Russia itself now is protected by the next generation of air defense systems, S-400.
So it's a smart move. Russia keeps the best for itself.
It's absolutely like the United States. They sell fifth generation aircraft to their domestic customers, to United States Air Force. But they offer fourth generation aircraft overseas. That's how Russia works. It's quite rational, because the very idea of arms export is not to make money, is to protect your own country better. And you know, if you sell overseas, you create jobs inside Russia, you can hire more engineers who will develop the next generation of military gear. So first, you provide this military gear for your own army, and only then you start offering it abroad. It makes sense. Any country works this way. Absolutely.
It's been fascinating to get your thoughts. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak to me. Igor Khokhlov, who's a political analyst from the Institute of World Economy and International Relations. Thank you so much.
Thank you.